Hey Taylor Army, welcome back to another episode of All Things Taylor. So I am getting ready to do some yoga, as you can see my little yoga mat. So I kind of wanted to just do a fun video because I've been referencing that blog for about a day and a half now on my Twitter called Let's Be Pros at Being Fans. And to me, that's an issue and a topic that I'm very passionate about because I mean, I myself am a fan. I just love pro wrestling and I started out as a fan. And a lot of times when you're so passionate about something, it kind of becomes easy for, you to lose that passion. And I see that happen to a lot of people. And I myself have experienced it. And luckily I was able to find ways to bring it back to me. And how I did that was remembering my why. So if anybody saw my tweet earlier today, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I have no problem admitting that I am a big kid. I love being alive. I love that I'm alive because I know there was many instances where I could have been gone. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I want to live every day, not necessarily as if it was my last, but just in general, live my life in the sense that I am happy to be alive, that I am blessed that I have people that see my potential and believe in me as not just a wrestler, but as a person. And having the fan base that I have now, such as the Taylor Army. If you would have asked me 5 years ago if, I would be living the life that I have today, I would have been like, yo, you're freaking crazy. Like, I was in a very negative headspace. And I'm so glad that, I fought tooth and nail to be the woman that I essentially am today. And that's a daily struggle. If anybody is trying to better themselves and work on their self-love and their self-talk, they know that it's a daily thing, that work never stops, There's always some way to be better. There's something more to learn, something more you can do. And I'm a person that always essentially believes in doing better and being better, and that every day is a new opportunity to do just that. I am a firm believer in that you can be both a work in progress as well as an inspiration to others. And sharing your story makes you vulnerable, but it also is relatable because people can not just know, but feel. And sometimes that feeling of not being alone is what matters more than just the knowing that you're not alone. We live in an awareness society instead of an action society. So I feel like feeling it is half the battle, So, and that's kind of what the Taylor Army does for me. And I hope that in turn, I also do that for the Taylor Army. And part of that goes back to let's be a pro at being fans. I started out as a fan. And if you read my blog, I'm not sure. So I will actually put a link to it below or up or whatever in the description. I am not tech savvy, guys. Just being myself. Sorry, it's been like a very asthma day. Yeah, being pros at being fans. 80 something percent of people in the business are and / were fans. So why should we be looking down on fans and calling all fans marks and all this and that? Personally, I feel sometimes that there's more marks in the locker rooms than there are in the seats. But that's neither here nor there. So instead of being so negative, we should be more positive about it. Imagine what it would be like if pro wrestling was in the position of what it actually deserves to be. Imagine that. For real. Imagine all kinds of promotions working together for the sake of making a difference in the world. And if that makes me a child for thinking that, then so be it. I don't care. Because I'll tell you what, I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling as a kid. I had to sneak it, which is really funny because, I'm a professional wrestler. So it's really funny to think that, I wasn't allowed to watch it. But man, there was nothing quite like, once I got into the business and then started going back and getting historical references of, the territories, and what that was like, and the Monday Night Wars and what that was like, and WCW and ECW and NWA and all this crazy stuff, and the Turner and, Crockett and all this other stuff, like crazy, there's nothing quite like Ric Flair. Woo! you know, and I talk about, you know, briefly mention all these different things that just make me feel like a kid when I think about them. Kurt Hennig, man, oh my God, Mr. Perfect, oh my God, he's spitting and hitting the freaking gum. I love Rick Rude. I loved his gimmick. You know, for me, the camera just stopped. He exuded overconfidence and all this. Oh my God, and that swagger that was so uniquely his. Jazz, man. Every time she came out to that ring, she was a freaking boss. She owned it every time. She was a badass bee, let me tell you. And I love her as a person. Getting to work with her at conventions and stuff, oh my gosh. She is an amazing human being. I love her to death. So it's crazy that, you know, I watched her on TV and then I got to work with her, you know, not in the ring, but, you know, on shows together and stuff. God, it's so freaking cool. You know, and watching Trish Stratus and Victoria, to me, that was trailblazing because you were seeing two women that had characters on the program and they're developing. So freaking cool. And that was trust right there. And you can tell those women didn't take that for granted. They did not. And that's what's so cool. You know, I remember hearing something, I don't remember if it was Victoria, Lisa Marie Varon, telling me about it, or if it was an interview that I had watched or read of Trish's. I'm not quite sure. But either way, Trish was talking about how they would purposely mess each other up, like with their makeup and stuff, so and their hair. So that way, when they got done with their matches, it would look like they were in a real fight. The devil's in the details, guys, and that stuff is freaking cool to me. So yeah, I am a big kid because I am a fan of wrestling. I love pro wrestling, and I will never forget my why, because my why is one of the reasons why I'm still here today. And that's the biggest thing. It doesn't matter if you want to be a wrestler. It doesn't matter if you want to be a singer, an artist, a blogger, doctor, whatever. You have to have a why, because the why is what's going to see you through all the dark times, all the great times. It's going to keep you grounded. It's going to help yourself level up. Remembering your why is everything. And the little kid in me will always be fighting for what I felt pro wrestling was and deserved to be. That's my why. You know, The Rock and Jericho, man, that didn't countdown for when he debuted for Y2J. Oh my God. And The Rock going, who says the WWF needs saving? What? One of my first my pro wrestling experience stories, I talk about how when I wasn't allowed to watch wrestling, and everybody in elementary school was going, suck it. Oh my God. So one day I saw people doing that in the lunchroom in the cafeteria in elementary school. So I came home and I was like, hey mom, suck it. Oh my gosh. I got so grounded, 2 weeks worth. Oh boy. And I didn't even like understand like what it meant, you know? So then as an adult, seeing the Young Bucks go suck it, and, you know, super kick party and stuff, it's funny because every time I see them do that, or anytime I have done that in the ring, you'll know, if you ever watch any of my old matches and you see me do that, just know that when I am doing that, in my mind, I'm remembering getting grounded for doing that when I was a little kid in elementary school. So that's kind of like a fun behind the scenes little Taeler Hendricks tidbit, you know? When I'm in the ring, I'm always trying to make myself or my opponent laugh. Like, that's my thing. Like, I'm always like whispering something funny in their ear. There's a photo that I've posted several times from when I was in Ring of Honor. And I'm wrestling Sumi Sakai. And I have her in a variation Muda lock. And I'm like sneering, and she's like, ah! You know, it's my bridging Richard lock. Well, what people don't realize is I'm actually like pretending to whisper sweet nothings into her ear. I'm like, oh yeah, you like that, Sumi? Yeah, I bet you do. And she's trying so hard not to laugh. It's just so funny. I'm always like cracking jokes and things, and I'm talking nonstop in the ring, which is really funny because, you know, I have lung disease, so it's like I don't know how I do it, but oh man. Being in the business and then getting to go back and watch, you know, different things that happened either before I was born or before I was allowed to watch it or whatever, I got to learn so much, because what was once old is now new again. You know what I mean? It all comes back in cycles. It goes through trends. So for me, some very big inspirations for how I approach being a character in the ring and some of my wrestling style and my mannerisms. I was always taught, even for acting and stuff, that you don't want to just sample one thing because then you're just being a carbon copy. What you want to do is take little things from pop culture and from other people and put your own spin on it and turn it into something that's uniquely your own. So for me, I was always insanely inspired by Sherry Martel. That woman she could go toe to toe with the dudes. Like it's crazy. Oh my God, she was phenomenal. No offense to AJ Styles, I'm not taking his stuff or anything, but Sherry Martel, I can't say enough about Sherry Martel. Freaking love her. I have watched so much of her stuff. Another two people that I absolutely love. I'm like stuttering because I'm like, I'm so jazzed up about it. I'm like wicked stoked. Seriously, the first ever WWF Women's Tag Team Champions were Princess Victoria and Velvet McIntyre. What a lot of people don't know, actually, is I have talked back and forth throughout the years with Princess Victoria. She has given me some great advice. I am sad that she broke her neck in a match in the 80s in the WWF, and she wasn't able to wrestle anymore because, man, the things that she could have done. But, you know, God, like that's the thing. Like, you have to show so much respect for the people that paved the way for people like me to be here today. Regardless if you like my wrestling persona, regardless if you like my gear, regardless if you like my wrestling style or how I approach wrestling, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is it's been made for people that love pro wrestling, which is me, you know, and these women paved the way. I love watching Velvet McIntyre's stuff. You know, her matches with Leilani Kai and Judy Grable. Oh my God, the Jumping Bomb Angels. Like, oh man, Wendy Richter. You know, just there's so many women that I just love watching because like what's old is new again. You know what I'm saying? And I love it. I just can't stop. You know, and another person I love to death, not just as a wrestler and a performer, but as a person, is Beth Phoenix. She just demolished what body types are and wrestling ability. She is a true boss. And from everything that I learned about her when I was at OVW is that she is a true leader in the back. She is an uplifting person to women as well as men. And she's just an all-around person that loves pro wrestling. And I think that is so cool. When I made a tweet about old pro wrestling games and she tweeted back about how she can be Road Dogg, it reminded me of a story. When my sister and I used to play WWF SmackDown 2, one of my friend's little brothers had given it to me and I was so stoked about it because I'd never had like a wrestling video game, right? And this was like way after like several different models that already come out, like, so this game was old already. And I would pick Road Dogg, right? And it would make my little sister so mad because we didn't know how to play it. We would just like use the buttons, like just hope for the best, you know? And she would pick like Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero and stuff, or Kane all the time. She wasn't a big wrestling fan, but those were the ones that she would pick and liked. And so she had pretty darn good taste, right? And I would pick Road Dogg just to mess with her because every time my guy would actually get a move in on her, which was like, luck of the Irish right there, I'll be like, oh, you didn't know? Oh boy. But yes, the territory, it was history making. It opened up so many opportunities and learning experiences that we get to benefit from today because some of those people are still around helping the business. I loved everything that Roddy Piper did. I got to work with him in New England once. He was in a locker room on a show that I was also on, and he was one of the most gentlemanly men I have ever met in my life. He was so respectful. I just have nothing but respect for him and his entire family. Like, he was an amazing gentleman. Let me see. Man, those Brian Pillman promos back in the day. Whoa, talk about believable. I love going back and watching those and being like, holy shit. You know, there's just so many different things, man, that I just love. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to apologize for being a fan. And I hope that I'm going to inspire other people to be pros at being fans. Remember your why and just love wrestling. If you love wrestling, then it shouldn't matter if somebody loves Impact and you love WWE, or if somebody loves AEW and you love New Japan, or AAA, CMLL, whatever brand you love. If you love, that, Southern Tennessee stomp style, or if you love that hard hitting, super fast action of New Japan, or if you love the, the character, style of soap opera and athletics like WWE, however you want to describe it, whatever you want to call it, do you. Promote what you love. Don't bother hating on anything else. Cheer on other people's success. Just be supportive and show young people that what kind of environment we can have when we choose to be kind. When presented with the choice, choose to be kind and cheer others on. You don't lose a darn thing by cheering others on, especially when you're sincere. I have nothing but respect for all the women in WWE, especially, the women at NXT, just showing what happens when you work so hard and believe in what you're doing and love what you're doing. You're going to make it wherever you want to go and nothing's going to stop you. You know what I mean? But the thing is when you have that kind of passion and drive and guts and gumption, you don't have to step on anybody else. You don't have to do undermine deals and undercut people and be a bad person. You don't have to do that. You know what I mean? And it's really great to see a lot of these women succeeding, because I remember I've worked with a lot of them, and the ones that I have worked with, I have nothing but respect for. So I'm going to show them love no matter what company I'm with or what I'm doing, whatever the case may be, and the same thing goes for all the other promotions. Who cares who's signed where and all this other crap? At the end of the day, we're all wrestling fans. We're all, just promote what you love, do what you love, don't apologize, and don't be ashamed at being a fan. Like I said, let's be pros at being fans, and let's bring back respect. It's not competition. Like, people talk like that's a bad thing. It's not. Competition is an opportunity for you to level up. It's for you to do better and be better. Competition is great. Necessity is the mother of invention, people. So bring on the competition, but you don't got to be a jerk about it. You know what I'm saying? There is a way to be kind and cheer other people on. Success isn't a pie. The more success, the more opportunities for everybody. If everybody's messing up the opportunities, that's going to close doors. Let's do the opposite. Let's be pros at being fans, and that mutual respect. It goes both ways, obviously. So thank you very much, guys. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of me geeking out about wrestling. I love pro wrestling. I will always love pro wrestling, and it always holds a place near and dear to my heart, guys. So thank you so much for believing in everything that I do. I hope you guys are inspired just as much as I am to stay being a fan and to love it and promote what you love instead of what you hate. Check out the link below if you are unfamiliar with the blog that I wrote called Let's Be Pros at Being Fans. I hope you enjoyed a trip down memory lane. I love talking wrestling. So, hey, if you want to talk wrestling, comment below, say hi, like, subscribe, and share.